I want to talk to you very quickly about a verse in John 18. It really jumped out at me. I'm going to go in at verse 28, just read you a very small passage. I think it's a warning to us all. Early in the morning they led Jesus to Caiaphas' house, the Roman governor's palace. They would not go inside the palace because they did not want to make themselves unclean. They wanted to eat the Passover meal. So Pilate went outside to them and asked, "What charges do you bring against this man?" They answered, "If he were not a criminal, we wouldn't have brought him to you." Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves and judge him by your own law." "But we are not allowed to put anyone to death," the Jews answered. What jumped out at me, sadly, was verse 29, where it says they wanted to eat the Passover meal. They were coming to Pilate, and a bit later on here, where it says we do not have the power to put anyone to death, it becomes obvious that they want Jesus murdered. Also, they don't really have any good reason for it, because he says, "What are the charges?" And instead of giving the charges, they say, "Well, if he wasn't a criminal, we wouldn't have brought him." In other words, we want our will be done and don't question us on it. But they wanted to eat the Passover meal, so they wouldn't go in to Pilate's palace, because then they were mixing with people who were not Jews, and that would make them unclean. And that would make them not able to eat the Passover meal. But actually, the uncleanness came from within. Like Jesus said, out of the heart come the things that defile the person. Murders, bitternesses. They were so hateful and so much wanted to control. Control can become like witchcraft, like sorcery. Control is manipulation, and if you're manipulating anyone, then you're actually trying to sort of act like a sorcerer, trying to make things happen your own way. It's like sorcery. It's like witchcraft. It's taking control away, or trying to, from where God put control. And God gave every human being control of their own lives. So much control that they can ask him in, or they can shut him out. He does not take control of my life unless I ask him in and give him authority. So no other human being should be trying to do that by emotional manipulation, mental manipulation, psychological games, spiritual praying, whatever it is. It's not of God, it's sorcery. And we're not clean if we're doing it. But these Jews saw religious rules as making them clean. So they could hate someone, and they could slander someone, and they could try and get someone destroyed and murdered. And they could be working actually for the one who seeks to kill, to steal and destroy. But then they could go and eat the Passover and think that they were clean. Now my challenge to me and to you today is to sit before the Holy Spirit and say, "Open my eyes. Open my eyes to anything that is within me that is unclean and that I think is clean. Don't let me come and give a sacrifice without going and talking to my brother and putting things right, like you said, Lord. Don't let me just see the outside, but show me the inside. Create within me a pure heart. Forgive me when I don't see what I'm doing, when my hatred blinds me so much that even though I don't have any good reason, I speak against, think against, act against, or feel against someone else. We can get so set in our ways that, like the Jews, we can say, if it wasn't that way, I wouldn't say it. If it wasn't that way, I wouldn't bring him. We can get defensive when the Holy Spirit allows someone to say, "What's your reason for that?" And even if we have a good reason, Jesus said, when your brother totally ruins your day, and that's what it means in the Greek, when he sins against you 77 times, 7 times, and 7 was the number of absolute completion, forgive him. And to forgive is not a great thing. It's just your ordinary service as a servant of God. Because you have been forgiven so much. Forgive them much. If you don't, you keep yourself bound. You will become the hypocrite that goes to church, worships, feeds on the word, takes the Passover like the Jews did. But you're murdering Christ. You're murdering the person who gave the best gift for you. You're excluding the forgiveness of God. You're hindering the Holy Spirit. Father, I don't want to do that. Help me. Please message us if we can pray for you. We're not perfect, but we are His. We're yours as well, and we love you. God bless.